Hello, I'm Anne-Marie Gattari, your host of Aging Well in America. Every day, up to 7,000 people in the United States turn 65 years old. There are 5.5 million people today that are aged 85 or older. By the year 2050, which isn't that far off, that number will grow to 20. 20 million people will be aged 85 or older. Are we ready? Is America ready? There's so much good work going on around the world, around the country, and right here in our own community. And I have with us today two of our community friends that are doing some of the best work around. They're with Services for Older Citizens. I'd like to introduce Heidi, who leads their volunteer services, and Angela, who leads the business development project that is going on right now. So let's start from the top. There's a lot of exciting things going on at Services for Older Citizens, SOC, as we know it so affectionately in the community, specifically the building development. Angela, bring us up to date on what's going on with the new building.
The new building's very exciting. We are currently under construction there. They started a capital campaign in 2009. Since its inception, SOC has been sharing space with other organizations for a long time. They've been looking for a home of their own for a long time. So now we're finally able to start making that happen. We're under construction at the former Newburgh nurses' residence behind Cottage Hospital and Grosse Pointe Farms. We kicked off construction there in July.
July of
2012.
Okay.
We're scheduled for a move-in date in spring of 2013, so things are moving along really well there.
Great.
It's been made possible with a lot of community support. We've had a lot of donors step up to the plate. The Bull Foundation has gotten behind us and given us significant support. They've been the lead donor on the campaign.
Wonderful.
So
That's
very
great.
excited.
This does play a major role for the volunteers and the volunteer work being done at SOC. Heidi, tell us what volunteerism at SOC looks like today, and what will it look like in, say, summer of 2013 once you're all moved in and settled?
Well, right now it's, I get volunteer calls every day asking to volunteer at SOC because it's such a great place to, do great things for. But in the summer of 2013, we hope to expand our volunteer by a lot, possibly by another 100, since we'll be expanding our programming at the Newberry House, possibly, having programs in the evenings and on the weekends. So we'll need a lot of volunteers to help us out.
A lot more. You said you have about 200 active volunteers right now, but many more that are kind of on your bench and step up when there's an event or a seasonal activity, fundraising, and so forth. Will you look for your additional volunteers to come from the bench, or will you also be recruiting brand new?
Both.
Both.
Yep, we'll be recruiting brand new and also looking for the volunteers to come back and help us out.
What are some of the new programming that will be at SOC once you're moved in, and what will some of those new volunteer opportunities consist of?
Well, because of our small space right now, we hope to expand the clerical part of it. We'll need someone on staff to help with, answering those phone calls that we get on a daily basis.
Right. So how many office volunteers do you think you'll be looking for?
At least a couple a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah.
So people who maybe retired secretaries or admin, executive administrative assistants, or high schoolers even.
Yes.
Even
college
those that don't have those
Right.
skill sets. We're always looking. Our volunteer program, it's to help us serve the seniors in the community, but we're also in service to our volunteers as well. If it's someone who's in retirement looking for some ways to fill their day, we have people who are looking to learn new skill sets. We're there for all of those kinds of things.
And you train them, I'm thinking.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking that sounds like a pretty fun assignment to go work in the office a few hours a day or a week.
It's a great place to be.
Yeah. So let's get to the exciting new news at SOC. So construction started
July of 2012.
this past summer.
Correct.
And in less than a year, you'll be moved in, tucked in, and
That's
ready
the goal,
to go.
yes.
So you brought some exciting photos.
I did. I brought some progress pictures that we can go through, let everyone get a sneak peek at what's going on. No one else has seen these yet.
Really?
These are photos courtesy of John F. Martin Photography.
Okay.
He came through and snapped these for us. So
Okay,
yeah, I'd
so
love to
this
show you.
is what the construction site looks like right now.
Right. What
Go
you're
ahead.
seeing here is the reception area. When you first come in, you can see where they're starting to frame it out, where there will be a formal reception area when you first walk in. This is another shot of that same area. All the windows have finally gone in now. We have Pella windows throughout. We've tried to maintain the character architecturally of the interior and the exterior of the building as much as possible. That's a close-up shot. That's the main room downstairs. That's the main activity room on the first floor. That's another shot of the main activity room.
So this room here is going to be all wide open.
All wide open. There's an elevator at one end. It goes through all floors of the building, including the basement. We'll have restrooms. Information and assistance will be on this floor.
Will this room have dividing walls, temporary walls, where you can make the room smaller? Or
Most likely not. We
Okay.
have two larger activity rooms, and then as we go through, you'll see we have some other smaller activity rooms for things like art classes, poker lessons.
Oh boy, that's very
This is what
pretty.
we're calling our living room library. All of those features that you're seeing there, the built-in bookcases, those are all original to the building, the
Nice.
millwork. Behind those boxes there is a fireplace which will need to be restored as well.
Very nice.
This room is going to basically maintain the character and integrity that it's got right now. We want it to have a very homey
Right.
feel, book club, cup of coffee, that kind of thing. This is what we're calling the dining room. This is also on the main floor. There will be some regular dining tables in here, like chairs, coordinated so it's got that residential feel to it. This is where the seniors will come for what we call the congregate or the food and friendship congregate meal program every day. People can come in, have lunch with a friend. We're looking at working with the Full Circle Foundation, partnering to offer
Oh.
some fresh lunch options.
Yes.
We partner with them right now on an urban garden project. So we'll have a soup and salad bar, those kinds of
Nice.
things. This is a shot of one of the multi-purpose rooms on the second floor. Again, you can see that we've tried to maintain some of the character of the building. It's got the low window off to the left. All the windows had to be, a lot of those arch windows were custom, maintaining the original roof line, those kinds of things. This second floor originally was all small dormitory type rooms for the nurses. So that's why everything's got to be completely reconfigured. This shows one of the staircases in the building. All the staircases have the terrazzo flooring in there. The wooden banisters. We're restoring and keeping all of those original staircases.
Beautiful.
That's another one as well, and you can see another one of the custom windows in the back.
No, I'm thinking of my mom, for instance. She would look at those stairs and get really tired.
Which
I
is
know
why
you-
we're having the elevator
You've got
installed. There was
elevators,
not
yeah.
originally an elevator in the building. That's been one of the larger costs to install the elevator shaft and the elevator itself.
How
And again,
big is the elevator? What will it accommodate? A wheelchair?
Oh, absolutely. The entire building is ADA accessible. All the restrooms, all of the doorways,
Yeah.
everything. This shows a shot of the second floor. The second floor will be primarily staff offices, a couple of the other small activity rooms that I had mentioned. This is actually Heidi's office that we're standing in here when the
Okay.
photos were taken.
Nice.
The volunteer department and the food and friendship department will be there right when you get off the elevator, so that they're the
Very
first thing you
nice.
see when you come to the second floor.
Okay.
This is the corridor of where the staff offices will be. Down at the top right looking here, that will be the executive director's office and all the other different departments on down the hall. That's my office.
Nice.
It's a shared office. It's myself and the development assistant, Melissa Janesh. She puts on our auctions, will be in there.
Okay.
The nice thing about that, again, as Heidi had mentioned for volunteers, is that we'll have all that extra space. We'll be able to stage mailings and all kinds of other things right out of the office instead of having to spread out and have it all over the place.
Yeah.
This is another one of the small activity spaces on that second floor. Meeting space, board meetings, exercise classes, yoga, those kinds of things. This is just a shot that gives you a little bit of perspective. It's on the 3rd floor looking down onto the 2nd floor, another one of those multi-purpose rooms.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 3rd floor. This is a really exciting space. This space was another bunch of those small split-up dormitory rooms. It's going to be another large activity room. There's another shot a little further along, there you go, that shows all of the dormered windows in there. Those will all be maintained. It's a really beautiful space. There's going to be window seats in all of those dormers.
And what will this be used for?
It's another multi-purpose space. We've tried to keep everything as flexible as possible so
Okay.
that as tastes and activities and community needs change, we're able to turn on a dime and offer what it is that people
I
are
see.
looking for.
So when you say multi-purpose, it's whatever the need is that day, that week.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. And that room was just recently, the Newburgh and Lord families who had originally given the money to build the home will be sponsoring that 3rd floor activities room. So we're really
Great.
excited to have them involved in the project. This is another one of the windows on the 3rd floor. You can see again, it's got those custom features to maintain the original feel of the home. And that's a shot of that multi-purpose activity room again.
Mm-hmm.
And the staircases as well.
Nice. I'm thinking
That's peeping in from the outside.
from one of the new windows.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. This building is really going to make a difference in so many people's lives in this community. SOC is not just a brick and mortar place. Of course, it's always been something that is almost spiritual for so many people. But this building gives it possibilities that just didn't exist before. I'm thinking just, you know, the environment is so healing and positive with all the windows and the bright lights and the location and so forth. Will there be rooms that will actually be for rent if people want to have a family party, a anniversary party, a wedding, a shower? Will you be doing? Will you be making the place available for those kinds of activities? Have you thought of that?
It's possible. We haven't finalized a lot of those kinds of arrangements. We're working with our current partners as far as being able to offer all the different programming at the different times that we want to be able to offer it. Again, with having all of those multi-purpose spaces, it does allow us that kind of flexibility, and having our own space allows us to open it up on weekends or evening hours and to offer
Sure.
things that maybe we haven't been able to do on site, whether that's art classes or adding additional exercise programming or those other kinds of, you know, community uses that you had mentioned as well.
Sure. That's great. So the total price tag on this is $3 million,
That's our goal for the campaign.
and you're close.
We're
but
close.
you're
We're just over
still-
$2.2 million.
Okay.
We've got some good momentum going. We've added well over $500,000 to the campaign within the last 6 months. In conjunction with starting the construction this past summer, we took the campaign public. We've had a huge outpouring of support from the community. We've got almost 500 donors from the community that have contributed so far.
Where should people send their checks?
They can send them right to us at SOC. Attention to the development department. You can get information on our website on the history of SOC, the history of the campaign, what we're looking to do going forward. The website address is on your screen. It's www.socservices.org. They can also email me at the office or call us at the office as well.
All right, that's great, and we'll certainly encourage those donations to continue, because spring is right around the corner.
It
Yep,
is.
and it-
And it's not just for the building itself, but for the furnishings and the decor, which I'm thinking won't be lavish, but it certainly will be appropriately sophisticated and with keeping with the history of the building. Tell us a little bit about the building. Heidi, what's your favorite historical fact about the Newburgh building?
Just how we're kind of keeping on the tradition where, you know, in the past the nurses lived there, and now we're opening up.
These are
back up.
nurses that
Right.
specifically worked at the hospital,
Right.
in
Yeah.
front of it. Yes.
Yeah. So we're opening it back up to the community again. So
Yeah.
for them to be able to use that house and not just let it sit there is a big deal. I think the staff is most excited about moving in and then the seniors. But no, it's very exciting for not just us at SAC, but for the community also.
Sure, sure. The building sat vacant and out of use for some years.
For a long time. This is actually the first time in 30 years that the entire building will be back in service. When Henry Ford Health System had purchased Cottage Hospital, there were parts of the building that were utilized for their development and community outreach type programming, but this is the first time that the entire building will be back in service. And as Heidi had mentioned, again, in community service, which is the original intent.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite historical fact about the building, Angela?
Yeah, I'm just really excited to be partnering with the Newberry family on it. Again, it just feels right that you've brought the entire project full circle, that this was something that was so important to Edith Newberry, who had originally provided the funding for the home as a resource to the community, a home for the nurses who were such an important resource and a source of comfort to families in the community. And now that they're involved in the project with their support, it just, it brings it all full circle.
Yeah,
it's been
that's
exciting.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. Heidi, you're a social worker by education.
Yep.
So tell us how you got into social work and how you ended up coming to SAC.
Sure. I actually have my bachelor's of social work from the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. And then I had worked for the family care program in Milwaukee County in Wisconsin for
That's
about
your
2 years. Yep, that's my home. And then I came to Michigan about, I guess it's 3 years ago already, and went to Wayne State and enrolled in their graduate program and obtained my master's of social work. And then just a few months later, by networking, I found SAC and was hired in and worked in the Information and Assistance Department. So I did a lot of social working in that area. And then about a year ago, or a little less than a year, I took over the Director of Volunteer Services at SAC.
What does a social worker at SAC do?
We do a lot of case coordination.
Do you?
Right. So
tell us what that is exactly. Can you give us an example?
Sure. Case coordination at SAC is dealing more with clients who are homebound. I mean, we do work with people there, but people who don't have as much support as someone might have. Dealing with just aging, helping people age in place successfully, which can be difficult at times for others when they don't have that support.
So you help provide them with resources in the community to help them with whatever their need is at that time.
Correct.
Or guide the families towards some decision making and so forth.
Right.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Angela, what is your background?
Well, I've always worked on the development and volunteer side of nonprofits. I've been in the nonprofit field for just over 10 years. I had started off at the University of Michigan. I worked for a community mental health agency in Detroit for a while. I spent 5 years with the Counting Aid Society, and then I came over to SAC. As a Grosse Pointer myself, it was a great opportunity to work in my field in my hometown. So.
Yeah. And when did you take over the development, fundraising for the new building?
I came on board on the development side in February of 2012. I had started with SAC in November of 2011 doing the volunteer services, and then when the Director of Development had moved on, I stepped over to that side.
Nice. Exciting? Scary?
Yes. Yes, but it's been great. I mean, we have a tremendous amount of support from the community at SAC. We've got great leadership in Sharon Mayer over at SAC. We have a really good team there. Everyone's very excited about the move, the seniors, the volunteers, the staff, and the community. So it's been fun.
Yeah. Tell me, a couple months after you must have this vision in your head. It's a couple months after you've moved in, things are settled down. What do you see when you're walking through the place?
Hopefully a lot of faces, a lot of familiar faces, a lot of new faces. A lot of activity. That's what we're hoping for. And just once we're in the new building, my work doesn't stop. Then I move on to the next thing. This is just phase one. You know, going forward, we would like to do a patio outside of the dining space, and you know, always looking for what the community's asking for, what do the seniors need, what are their families looking for, making sure that we're there to be able to meet those needs.
You mentioned patio, and you also mentioned gardens earlier. What will the exterior of the home, of the building look like in, you know, a couple of years when it's all in place?
Sure. Well, we've worked hard through the process of planning the construction, and as we go forward, to maintain the integrity of the building on the outside. We didn't want to change the residential character of the neighborhood.
Excuse me, how old is the building? When was it built?
The building was put into service, I believe, in 1931.
All right.
Yep, they had started construction towards the end of the 20s, and I believe it was put into service in 31.
Okay.
So it's a great neighborhood in Grosse Pointe Farms. There's some beautiful homes there, and like I said, we wanted to maintain the residential character. Edith Newberry, who had given the funds for the home, was a huge gardener. It was very important to her. She had all kinds of elm trees and other things originally planted on the property. We've done our best to maintain all of that as well. We've had a lot of interest from local garden clubs. I had mentioned our partnership with the Full Circle Foundation, who handles our urban garden as well.
Tell us a little bit about Full Circle.
Full Circle Foundation is a partnership. They work with special needs students and young adults through the Grosse Pointe Public Schools and through their own organization. They have the thrift store that many people may be familiar with.
In the park, in Grosse Pointe Park, right?
Right, and they're actually going to be moving. They've gotten a permanent space as well over at Caju and Mac, so they'll be moving over there too.
Okay.
But for a long time, we've partnered with the organization there. They had, the students had cooked desserts for our teas and parties and those kinds of things. And then since we've been in the new space, we have several volunteers that come over and work with us, both in our kitchen program and on a clerical basis. Going forward, we'll be able to accommodate so many more of the students. We're doing a special kitchen project initiative there where students are able to train in the food service industry so that they're getting on-the-job training with job coaches on site. Working with the seniors, getting used to preparing and serving food and all the food quality issues that go with that, so then they can go out and work.
Yeah, that's great. That's bringing together different populations of the community like that is when you know you've got a success.
Right, and it's mutually beneficial for both of them, the intergenerational contact there. And
right, you really do. SOC is known very well among Grosse Pointers, among seniors in Harper Woods, but we were talking earlier, you mentioned it certainly is open to seniors in all parts of the southeastern Michigan area and Clinton Township and the northern Macomb County suburbs and so forth. What do they need to do to come and enjoy the programming and eventually the building? Is there
they just need to come.
Another membership or?
Not at this time, no. Our primary service area is the 5 Grosse Pointes and Harper Woods, but we're here to serve the community. We're not checking ID at the door. We have seniors that come to us from all over the area.
Now, many of the programs do require a nominal fee.
Correct.
So anybody who wants to come and pay whatever, what's a typical fee for, say, an aerobics, a chair yoga program or an exercise program?
It's $4 for exercise.
Per class or for a series?
Per class.
Okay.
However, your first class, since you're new to SAC, is free. It's complimentary on us. Our food and friendship, which is Monday through Friday, except for Thursdays, is $3. And again, if you're coming to us for the first time, that lunch is complimentary.
Okay, so. And that's a full lunch for $3. And then I know you have the monthly teas.
Right. Which is exciting. We have our Thanksgiving tea this Thursday, and that is $5.
Okay. And I'd like to put in a plug for the tea that BrightStar is going to be sponsoring on December 13th at St. James. That's the Christmas tea, and we're going to have the choir from Grosse Pointe North serenade, as they did last year.
Yeah, they really loved that.
Nice Christmas carols. That was a fun one. So terrific. What else is coming up that's exciting for you at the that you'd like people to know about in the near future?
Well, Thanksgiving and Christmas Day, we will be delivering holiday Meals on Wheels to homebound seniors in the area.
Are you looking for
We
volunteers?
are looking for volunteers to either help pack the meals or help deliver the meals.
When
so
is the packing done? Is that ahead of time?
that's, yep. It's actually in the morning of
Okay. Okay.
Thanksgiving and Christmas Day.
Okay.
And then the meals will be sent out on the morning of those days too.
Okay.
So
Great. Now, do volunteers need to come for any type of training ahead of time, or can they just call you and say, put me down for December 25th?
there is some paperwork that they have to complete.
Okay.
I do have a volunteer application, a background check form, the usual procedural
see.
stuff. So
Sure.
they can
Okay.
contact me at the phone number listed on their screen if they're interested in
Okay.
volunteering.
Very good.
So,
We've come to the end of our half hour, if you can believe it. There's so much wonderful, wonderful things going on at SOC, and I want to thank you both. You're doing tremendous work for our seniors and our community.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you again for coming.
Thanks, Anne Marie.
Thanks.
As always, we're looking for ideas, themes that you would like us to cover here at Aging Well in America. Please do send your messages to me here at the War Memorial, and thank you again for joining.